Hello everyone, and welcome back to my sunroom here in East Tennessee. It's January, and every year I try to do a goals video on my channel. It's good to think about the goals you set for your orchids and your plant collection, to think about what you did that worked last year, what didn't work, and set your mind to a new growing year. So I'm going to go through some ideas and plans I have for my orchids and for my sunroom and get some things set in motion. I think it's easier to do that now rather than wait until spring when everything is growing full force. My channel is sponsored by the Orchid Supply Store. I'll place a link to their website in my description box below. Everything I use for my orchids and my plants, and even some of my plants, come from the Orchid Supply Store. They have beautiful orchids. They have everything you need to help you grow, and if you use my coupon code AMY when you place your order, you'll receive a 12% viewers discount. So let's talk about some goals I have for 2023. If you've been watching my channel for a few years, or many of you have been watching my channel for many years, then you've seen the metamorphosis of my sunroom. It was built in 2016, and since then, every year I try to improve it. I used to grow orchids in my kitchen and in some of the eastern-facing windows in the front of my house. And having much of my collection back here has made things much easier for me. I still grow quite a few plants in my house, but most of my orchids are in here now. I added my beautiful shelves last year, which I love, and I arranged some of my plants, and I opened up the back of the sunroom, which used to be just an empty space. So I added some LED lighting to the back of my sunroom, and as a matter of fact, that's one of the things I need to add more of this year. I've used every electric strip that I have available for right now, so I'm going to have to add some more electric outlets. That's first on the list. I want to add LED lights to most of my shelves too, because I've had such good experience with the LED lighting. That way, if we go through weeks of rain and cloud cover, my orchids will still get plenty of sunlight. Well, I shouldn't say that they would get plenty of sunlight. They would get the LED light, and they grow very, very well with LED lighting. I've been very impressed with the results I've had with growing mine under LED lights. And the other thing I've decided to do this year is to hang some sheer curtains up to these windows, probably next month. I have these black hooks in the top corner of my sunroom. I used to have wind chimes hanging from them, and I'm thinking I'm going to hang sheer curtains and tie them in the middle so it looks like a big scarf that is just covering those windows. The reason why I'm doing that is because starting in February, the sun comes through these windows very strongly. And the tree in the backyard that's so big that, shades this area of the sunroom so well, it doesn't have leaves on it yet. It won't have leaves until April or May. So I need to shield my plants from the stronger late winter, spring, and fall sun. So I'm going to hang them so that it looks unique. I'm really looking forward to situating them back here because I think it's going to give me a nice effect. Plus, I won't have to worry about continually moving them away from the window, closer to the window, according to the weather. I'm just going to be able to set them there with the sheer curtains, and then in the month of January and in the summer, when the sun doesn't tilt back here so strongly, I'll just be able to remove them or just like let them hang loose, which will be pretty back here, I think. I kind of have it in my mind, so y'all just stay tuned and I'll see what I'm going to do. I'm looking forward to it. Another thing I plan for at the beginning of the year is do I add more orchids to my collection this year? I added quite a few to my collection last year, and I actually got some things that I really like the Tolumnias. I really like these a lot. They're small, compact, they're not expensive, and there's lots of color all in one little plant, and I can handle that. This one has been in bloom for about a month now. This one is, oh yes, the Gyric Flyer Cardinal Bird. Beautiful. It looks just like the cardinals in my backyard. It's amazing. And then the Gyric Flyer Butterfly. Here is a spike on that. So the Tolumnias have done very well. I just bought 3 to begin with because I thought I don't want to get a whole bunch of, Tolumnias and them not do well in my environment, but they do. So I'm very happy with them. I'm thinking about getting a few more of the Tolumnias. They come in lots of pretty colors, and do a repotting video on them. When I first ordered these, it was right before Thanksgiving, and I was expecting company, and then World Cup soccer was on, and I love soccer. So I had a game playing while I repotted these. It took me about an hour and a half to repot all 3 of these. They came in those little plastic baskets, but actually they weren't too bad to repot. But you all might like to see the process of how I do that. And yeah, so I might get some more Tolumnias. I have a feeling there's some more of those in my future. And my friend Becky asked me just the other day, how do I grow these? I grow these under an LED light, halo light, here in my kitchen. They don't get a whole lot of natural sunlight. They're just growing under the LED lights, and as you see, they're doing fantastic. So I'm so pleased with these. And of course, my goal with my collection is to have the number of orchids and plants that I can comfortably take care of without it overwhelming me. I add to my collection very thoughtfully. I plan before I buy, and if I'm going to be really busy or if I'm going to be traveling anytime soon, I hold off buying new orchids. It's no fun to try to take care of an orchid and give it special care, and then for you to leave a week on vacation and then you come back and it's not doing so well. So I've just learned that through the years. I've also been there and done that with having too many orchids, and I don't want to do that again either. There is a balance, there's enough, and then there's so many that it kind of overwhelms you and it makes you tired, and I don't want to get to that point. The good thing is, since more of my orchids are in bark and moss layers and just moss, it's so much easier to water. I'm using less water. That was a goal of mine last year. I was using a whole lot of water with just trying to keep up with all of my plants growing in bark. And so that moss layer retains moisture, and they love it. So that has really worked for me this year, and that's what I plan on continuing to do. So I'm thinking I might have time for a few more Tolumnias. I believe I do, and maybe a few other orchids that I've had my eye on, and I'll definitely keep you all posted on those. And another goal is, and this is a yearly goal, I want my orchids to be better this year than they were last year. And that requires consistency, persistency, that's a word I made up for my orchids, and lots of thought. I've grown orchids for 21 years now, and I devote a lot of time and thought into them. I don't have what most would consider a huge collection, but I guess it's a matter of perspective. I want the ones that I grow to be spectacular, and I want to have the time to spend on each one individually so that they are truly spectacular. So I'm curious, what are your all's goals with your orchids this year? I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you want to see done in your grow space and with your orchids and your plants this year. That would really be interesting for me to read through. And before I go, I want to thank you all for being part of my channel. My comment section is so much fun for me to read through. You all are such a blessing to me. And I'd love to say the blessing over you, your families, and your plants. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. You all make it a great day, and we will talk to you next time.